Welcome, everyone. Go ahead and think of me as your personal career mentor today. We're skipping all the fluff and treating this explainer as a brutally actionable, zero BS coaching session. Right now, in 2026, India is sitting on top of something massive. And my goal today? It's to help you break into India's data science boom, even if you are starting from absolute zero. I'm going to give you the exact steps to go from a total beginner to a highly paid professional. So, are you ready? Let's do this.
Okay, let's dive into this. 11 million. Yeah, 11 million. That is the number of expected data science job openings in this country over the next few years. Just let that sink in for a second. Not 11,000, 11 million. The sheer scale of opportunity we're looking at right here is completely unprecedented.
And here is the shocking reality that should genuinely excite you. This is one of the very few careers in India today where a fresher, assuming they have the right skills of course, can start between 6 to 10 lakhs per year. And then, they can scale up to a massive 25 to 50 lakhs per year with just a few short years of experience. I know it sounds crazy, but no, I'm not exaggerating. I'm going to show you the exact numbers, the exact roadmap, and the exact order to learn everything.
But first, let's clear up the absolute biggest confusion out there. What is a data scientist, really? A lot of people think a data scientist and a data analyst are the exact same job. They are absolutely not. An analyst looks at data that already exists and explains what happened. They're analyzing the past. A scientist goes way further. A scientist builds systems that predict the future. So the crucial point is this. A data analyst reads the map of where you have been. A data scientist builds the GPS that tells you exactly where you're going next. That prediction power, it comes from machine learning. And that is exactly why scientists earn significantly more.
Now, you might be wondering, why is 2026 the perfect time to jump in? Well, because India's data science market is experiencing explosive growth right now. We are talking about a compound growth rate of over 57% every single year. Job listings are up 29% in just the last 12 months, and there are literally 20,000 new jobs opening every single month. Why? Because every major Indian sector is currently drowning in data. Banking, fintech, healthcare, e-commerce, along with massive government projects like Digital India, they are all absolutely desperate for people who possess those predictive skills to turn all that raw data into actual decisions.
And this brings me to my tough love mentor advice for you. Notice how the scale here heavily favors proof over a diploma. Look, companies in 2026 are no longer obsessed with fancy degrees. Honestly, they don't care about a piece of paper if you can't do the work. They are obsessed with proof. A killer GitHub portfolio featuring 3 to 5 real, high-quality projects will easily outweigh a master's degree that has nothing to back it up.
So let's move on and see how this builds into your actual game plan. This is the exact 5-layer roadmap that's going to take you from a complete beginner to genuinely job-ready in just 7 to 9 focused months. If you follow this exactly, you don't need years, you just need months. By the way, I've included specific links to the details of this 5-layer roadmap in the description below so you can track your progress clearly. Let's break down each layer.
Layer 1 is the foundation: maths, stats, and logic. Now don't panic, you don't need to be a math genius. You just need to think like a mathematician for about 3 to 4 weeks. Grasping basic statistical reasoning, like probability and distributions, is your absolute bedrock. Then we move to layer 2, the tools: Python and SQL. Plan for about 6 to 8 weeks here. Python is your primary weapon for building models, and SQL is how you pull the info from massive databases. Honestly, both of these are absolutely non-negotiable in 2026.
Next up, layer 3, the predictor, which is machine learning. Spend a good 8 to 10 weeks here. This is the exact layer that separates the scientists from the analysts. You're going to learn to build complete pipelines using regression, decision trees, scikit-learn, and you'll learn how to evaluate those models properly.
Okay, layer 4, the multiplier: deep learning and generative AI. Listen closely to this part, because this is true insider knowledge. Mastering the exact technology behind ChatGPT is your true salary multiplier in 2026. Spend 8 to 10 weeks mastering this.
Finally, layer 5, the proof, visualization, your portfolio, and ML ops. Over 6 weeks or more, you need to learn how to present your findings visually using Power BI or Tableau. And you must deploy real-world models to your GitHub, not just college assignments. Build a healthcare predictor or a fintech recommendation system. Show them you can deploy it in the real world. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is when we map out how these massive numbers become reality across your career. For a fresher, meaning 0 to 2 years of experience, the salary ranges from 6 to 14 lakhs per annum.
Moving up to mid-level, so 3 to 5 years, that pushes you to 15 to 25 lakhs per annum, especially if you own ML models that directly impact the business. And senior or lead roles, 5+ years, that's 25 to 50+ lakhs per annum at top tech and product companies. And reaching that senior tier isn't just about coding, it's about deep domain knowledge. You really have to understand the actual business behind the data to land those top-tier salaries.
But how do you make sure you are at the absolute top of those salary bands? Notice that massive 25 to 40% jump right there. That is the premium companies are currently paying for data scientists who possess generative AI fluency. It is literally the single biggest salary lever in the entire Indian tech industry right now. A standard data scientist doing basic dashboards sits in one band, but someone who can fine-tune and deploy LLMs, they earn 25 to 40% more.
So how do we get you there? As your mentor, I want to give you a brutally actionable step-by-step guide translating this roadmap into a daily plan for your very first 3 months. Days 1 to 30 focus entirely on statistics and Python. Now, a really common pitfall here in the first 30 days is getting totally bogged down in complex math. Actually, scratch that. Don't overcomplicate it, just avoid the heavy theory and stick to the basics. Days 31 to 60, move to SQL and pick your first real data set. Pick something you actually care about, like your city's weather or stock prices, and explore it. And finally, days 61 to 90, build your first machine learning model end-to-end and push it directly to GitHub.
And this brings up probably the most important lesson you'll hear from me today. Consistency beats intensity. You don't need to burn out studying 10 hours a day, just 1 hour a day. Literally, 1 hour a day of consistent, focused coding will yield something almost no one else starting out has, actual tangible proof that you can do the job. And having that daily proof, that is exactly what gives you the confidence and the real-world stories to totally ace the behavioral interview questions for those top data science roles.
90 days from today, you might not be fully job ready, but you will absolutely have real proof to get you noticed. The only question left is whether you start building these skills today or watch someone else take the opportunity that could have been yours. If this roadmap gave you real clarity, hit like, subscribe to Try AI with me, and tell me in the comments, which layer are you starting with this week? I read every single comment. Let's build this together. See you in the next explainer.